is our home for the past 3 weeks.
And we are going to be telling you a bit about how we've lived
for the past 21 days.
So as you know, we were split into 4 separate teams. Each day you had a new chore. So there's video, camp, kitchen, and water. Camp consisted of basically doing anything around camp. So cleaning up the table, getting everything charged and ready for the next day.
Our kitchen consisted of waking up early, setting the table, and then after every meal, we'd take the dishes off the table and clean them. It was like, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes after each meal, we'd take time to do the dishes.
Water, you just had to get the dirty water, pump it, and clean it, and make sure that there was enough water for the day. Back home, you really only have to worry about your own stuff, your own dishes, your own electronics, and not have everybody doing one thing, focusing on one chore. Okay, so this is me, Scott, Tom's, and Paul's tent.
All the other tents have 3, but we're lucky enough we have 4.
We have a rule where there's no shoes in our tent. And if you look inside here, you'll see how crowded this tent is. Whenever we want to get inside to get something, we always just throw Paul's bed on somebody else's bed. And that's the only way we can maneuver around there. You'll see some of the other tents in here have, well, all the other tents in here have 3 people, and so they have room to move around, but not ours.
And usually camp blows up the air mattresses, but we've been doing it ourselves. Very different from a bed, from at home.
Alright, this is my tent. I lived here with Lindsay and Megan, who I didn't know before this trip. We got along really well. It's pretty messy because we are girls. One thing though about them is that they would never close this all the way. They would always leave it cracked this much, and I hated that because I'm allergic to bug bites. I always had to remind them to close it all the way, but I love them, it's okay. So right across from our tent is Olivia's tent right there. My tent mates are Maddie and Colleen. They're pretty fun. One thing about our tent is when we had to move it, we were completely on a slope. So me and Maddie every single night ended up on top of Colleen on her mattress. So that's the fun thing about our tent. All right, so this is our toilet. Every day we would open this up if you want to come to the toilet. All right, so how this toilet works is you open it up and that's where you do your business. The one thing about this toilet is you have to open up this tray just like that so that your waste goes down the hole. The problem is if you don't, then your waste gets stuck just like that, which is a little gross considering people use the toilet after you, and so you have to be really mindful about that. To flush, you just have to push that down and the water circulates and pushes whatever waste you have or whatever waste gets stuck there.
I had a different problem in the bathroom.
Yeah, I didn't poop for the first 3 days because I was scared to use the toilet because I was germaphobe. I was just constipated. The first 3 days. When I finally took my first poop, I felt more at home because now I was like, okay, I can do this.
My problem was when we first got there, I wasn't used to eating so much bread, porridge, which is like an oatmeal. I had a hard time, let's say, going to the bathroom for the first 3-4 days. So there was a point where I was eating those fiber pills like candy.
So this is where we did our laundry.
I'd say we did our laundry once to twice a week. Since we didn't pack much in the first place, we would end up reusing clothes until they got really dirty. And this is where our water came from.
This is where we hang our laundry after we do it. So this is our dining area, which is where a lot of the bonding happens.
We naturally eat here, but since it's really the only shaded area that we have, and the tents get way too hot during the day, this is where we come to just kind of hang out when we're not eating or working or playing.
And in case anyone ever gets sick, we have these hammocks called the medical hammocks.
So these are our showers. They have hot water, which we were told we weren't gonna have, so that's really nice after a long day of work. But the thing with these they weren't ready until about halfway through our trip. So what we were using before is down there by our sleeping tents, we had a shower tent where we'd have removable bags of water that we would heat if we wanted warm showers, or we would just tough out the cold showers. But they came through a nozzle, and the nozzle would only work if you had it down. So even me as a short person would have to like crouch down on my knees and like bend down like this to have the water be able to pour on me. And then the water bags would run out of water really, really fast. So water team would always have a huge job of getting the water boiled so it was warm, carrying the heavy water down to the tents, and making sure everybody was happy with their showers.
One time, we didn't want to go through that hassle of going through this whole outdoor showering system. It was raining so hard that we just decided, you know what, let's just shower out here. And so we did, and we got our soap, and we took off our clothes except for our underwear, and we showered out there, and it was one of my fondest memories of this place, and bonding with all the guys, of just all of our disgustingness and washing it away in nature.
I really stepped out of my comfort zone with this trip.
To grow as a person, you have to step out of your comfort zone, because if you're always in your comfort zone, you're never going to change. So you kind of have to push yourself. For 21 days, we were living with a group of people that we had met on 3 different times.
We all kind of grew as a family and learned to lean on each other when we were really struggling.
Everyone just kind of gelled together, and
You have to get along with these people because you're living in very close quarters. There's really no escape. You know, you can go walk off by yourself if you want. So I think one of the more challenging aspects of dirt is to live with complete strangers.
I didn't realize how fast it actually took for us to get really comfortable with each other.
What was the most challenging thing for dirt for you?
Not having a set schedule or knowing what was coming next.
I had a problem with not being able to shower every day. I just felt uncomfortable the first week, but as we were packing up and leaving, I actually realized that I was going to miss camping.
Here, I really like to schedule out my day to make sure everything gets done, and I like knowing when I'm going to do what, and so embracing the chaos, as Shawnee would say, something I struggled with and definitely was trying to work on over the course of the trip.
I think what happened for a lot of us with this dirt trip was that we grew as people, as individuals.
I was walking back to camp with Paul and Nate, and I remember telling them after a long day's work, I'm like, God, I just can't wait to be home, back on my hammock. And subconsciously, I didn't realize when I meant by home was actually at the campsite. So it was just realizing that the campsite became my home.
I guess that's what dirt was about. I learned how to be comfortable with being dirty. After taking showers, I would have to walk back down into the dirt, and so my feet would get dirty again. Like eventually I kind of just gave up on cleaning them. What did Shawnee call it? Productive?
I'm being uncomfortable.
We were forced to be dirty, or to live with people that we didn't know, or to walk 6 miles every day. We learned to kind of embrace the chaos, to be comfortable with uncertainty.
With the chaos that was around us, or with the dirt that was around us, and we created our own home within the campsite that we were living in. We had our little dining area, the one covered area where we'd play games, we'd all meet up there, we'd have our meals there. That was like where everybody just was, and we were always around each other. And we grew very comfortable with each other, so comfortable that when we came home, we were apart not even 24 hours, and then when we met up again this morning, everybody was so excited to see each other.